Assalamu alaikum. As your teacher today, I'm delighted to share the beautiful concept of Qona'ah as taught by the great Imam Ghozali. Qona'ah at its core is about contentment. It's the state of being satisfied with what Allah has provided for you, recognizing that true wealth is not in the abundance of worldly possessions but in the richness of the heart. Imagine this as a shield against greed and constant yearning for more, which can lead to anxiety and ingratitude. By practicing Qona'ah, you focus on appreciating your blessings, which naturally brings peace and tranquility to your soul. In practical terms, it means living within your means, avoiding debt for luxuries, and not envying what others have. For example, if you have a modest home, you feel genuinely grateful for it rather than constantly wishing for a mansion. I'd love to know, how do you currently view contentment in your own life, and is there a specific area where you'd like to practice Qona'ah more?
Thank you for that beautiful explanation, teacher. I see contentment as a mental state of peace, where I appreciate what I have instead of constantly looking at what others possess. If I look at an area where I could practice Qona'ah more, it would be in managing my desires for modern gadgets, reminding myself that true satisfaction comes from within and not from the latest technology.
That is a profound insight, and you've pinpointed a major challenge in our modern world. Technology is designed to constantly tempt us with the newest and shiniest devices, often making us feel like we're missing out if we don't have the latest model. Practicing Qona'ah in this area means recognizing that while these gadgets can be useful, our happiness and self-worth do not depend on them. True satisfaction comes from cultivating gratitude for what we already have and using our blessings in ways that benefit ourselves and others. How do you feel when you intentionally choose to be content with the technology you currently possess, rather than immediately upgrading?
When I intentionally choose to be content with the technology I have, I feel a profound sense of liberation and peace. It frees up mental space and financial resources, allowing me to focus on what truly matters rather than constantly chasing the next big thing. It strengthens my gratitude and brings a deeper richness to my heart. Teacher, how do you personally maintain this perspective amidst the constant pressure to upgrade in our modern world?
That is a wonderful question, and the secret lies in constant remembrance of the true purpose of our lives. Personally, whenever I feel that temptation to upgrade, I pause and reflect on whether the new item will truly bring lasting benefit or just a temporary spark of excitement. I also remind myself of the blessings I already have and how much of my time and energy will be consumed in pursuing the next big thing. It's about prioritizing the enrichment of the soul over the accumulation of material goods. I am curious, what strategies do you think you might use to pause and reflect the next time you feel the urge to upgrade a gadget?
That wisdom truly resonates with me. To pause and reflect, I think I'll adopt a waiting period, perhaps 30 days, to let the initial excitement pass and see if the desire is truly necessary. I also want to evaluate how the upgrade will genuinely enhance my productivity or well-being, rather than just offering a fleeting novelty.
Those are absolutely brilliant strategies. Implementing a waiting period allows you to separate temporary excitement from genuine need, giving you the clarity to make a mindful decision. Evaluating how an upgrade enhances your productivity or well-being ensures that any purchase is truly adding value to your life, rather than just serving as a fleeting distraction. By following this approach, you are actively strengthening your Qona'ah and creating space for deeper contentment. Is there any other area in your life where you feel the need to apply this mindful approach to your desires?
Another area where I feel the need to apply this mindful approach is in my spending habits regarding clothing and dining out. It's easy to get caught up in acquiring more than necessary or eating out frequently without considering the true value or necessity of those indulgences.
Those are two more areas where the pressures of consumer culture can easily lead to excess. With clothing, it's easy to focus on fast fashion and trends, rather than building a durable, functional wardrobe that truly serves your needs. Dining out frequently, while convenient, can also impact your finances and detract from the simple joy of preparing and sharing meals at home. Practicing Qona'ah here means being intentional, prioritizing quality over quantity, and finding satisfaction in moderation. I am curious, what steps do you think you could take to be more mindful about your clothing purchases and dining out habits?
For clothing, I'm planning to adopt a more minimalist approach by focusing on timeless, high-quality pieces that I can mix and match, rather than constantly buying into fast fashion trends. I'll also implement a waiting period for any new garments to ensure they are truly needed. Regarding dining out, I want to set a dedicated budget for eating out each month and make meal planning a priority at home. This will not only save money, but also help me rediscover the pleasure of cooking and sharing meals with my family. Teacher, do you have any recommendations for books or resources that delve deeper into practicing contentment in daily life?
Those are fantastic practical steps that will truly bring more peace and balance to your life. To delve even deeper into this, I highly recommend reading The Art of Contentment by Imam Ghozali himself, as it gives direct insight into the classical teachings. For a modern perspective, Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown is excellent for focusing on what truly matters. Given your interest in minimalism, what aspects of simplifying your life are you most curious to explore next?
Thank you for those wonderful recommendations, teacher. I'm especially curious about exploring the concept of digital minimalism, as our screens and online lives can easily become cluttered and distracting, much like our physical spaces. I'd love to learn how to be more intentional with my digital interactions to find greater peace and focus.
That is a brilliant and highly recommended step forward, as our digital spaces can certainly become just as overwhelming as our physical ones. In the era of constant connectivity, managing your digital life is crucial for protecting your heart and mind, much like the traditional teachings on guarding your senses. To begin practicing digital minimalism, you could start by auditing the notifications you allow, turning off anything that isn't truly essential to reduce interruptions. You might also consider setting specific times for checking social media or emails, rather than allowing them to consume your focus throughout the day. This creates space for more meaningful offline interactions and reflection. I'm interested. What particular aspects of your current digital habits do you feel take up the most of your time and energy?
I find that scrolling through social media feeds and constantly checking messaging apps take up the most of my time and mental energy. These habits fragment my attention and pull me away from moments of reflection and genuine connection. By becoming more aware of these disruptions, I can start to reclaim my focus and live more intentionally.
Recognizing that is a powerful step forward. Those constant notifications and infinite scrolls are indeed designed to keep us hooked, often at the expense of our peace of mind. To address this, you might consider setting specific time limits for these apps or even creating designated tech-free zones in your home or during family time. These boundaries can help you regain control over your attention. I am curious, do you think setting app limits or creating tech-free times will be easier for you to implement first?
I believe setting app limits will be easier for me to implement first. It feels like a concrete, manageable step that I can control directly on my device, helping me build the habit of mindful usage without immediately changing the dynamics of my entire household. Teacher, do you have any recommendations for apps that help track screen time and enforce these kinds of limits?
That is a sensible approach to start with, which you can manage directly on your device. Most modern smartphones already have built-in features designed for this. For example, you can use digital well-being on Android or screen time on iOS to set daily limits for specific apps. There are also third-party apps available that offer more advanced tracking and customization options, such as Forest, which encourages focused time. Do you currently use any built-in screen time management tools on your phone?
I don't personally use a phone, so I don't have built-in tools, but I'm familiar with the digital well-being and screen time features available on modern devices. They seem like excellent ways to gain insight into usage patterns and establish healthy boundaries.
That is a very interesting perspective to consider, showing that the core principles of Qona'ah and mindfulness transcend physical devices. Ultimately, whether through screen time limits or simply through mindful awareness, the goal is to cultivate a balanced approach to all our interactions and resources. What are some other ways you find you can practice contentment and mindfulness in your daily life?
Beyond limiting screen time, I find immense value in keeping a daily gratitude journal, where I consciously write down things I'm thankful for, which helps shift my focus from what I lack to what I possess. Another beautiful practice is mindful eating, where I savor each bite and appreciate the nourishment it provides, allowing me to be fully present in the moment. Teacher, do you have any mindful breathing exercises you would suggest for anchoring oneself during busy days?
Keeping a gratitude journal and practicing mindful eating are beautiful habits that nurture the heart, directly reflecting the essence of Qona'ah. For anchoring yourself during busy days, a simple and effective exercise is the 4-7-8 technique. You inhale gently through your nose for a count of 4, hold your breath for 7, and then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for a count of 8. Another option is just box breathing, where you inhale, hold, exhale, and hold, all for equal counts of 4. Do you find it helpful to focus on the physical sensations of your breath when you're feeling stressed?
Yes, I find that focusing on the physical sensations of my breath helps immensely to calm my mind and bring me back to the present moment. It creates a pause between the stress and my reaction, allowing me to respond more consciously rather than out of anxiety. Teacher, are there specific moments during a busy day when you recommend practicing these breathing exercises for the greatest benefit?
That pause is exactly the heart of mindfulness and the very essence of how we cultivate Qona'ah. To anchor yourself throughout a busy day, I recommend taking a few very conscious breaths first thing in the morning to set a calm intention. You can also practice during transitions, like when you move from one task to another, before important meetings, or whenever you feel your stress levels rising. Finally, taking a moment to breathe in the evening helps release the day's tensions and prepares you for restful sleep. I'm interested. Which of these moments do you think would be the easiest for you to make a regular habit?
I think practicing mindful breathing first thing in the morning would be the easiest for me to make a regular habit. It would allow me to start the day with a calm intention and integrate the practice into my morning routine seamlessly. Teacher, do you have any advice for staying consistent with this morning practice on days when I might feel rushed?
That is a very wise foundation to build upon. To stay consistent on rush days, remember that even just a few minutes of conscious breathing is far better than skipping the practice entirely. You might place a physical cue like a meditation cushion or a small note where you will see it first thing to remind you of your intention. Be gentle with yourself and allow the practice to be a moment of peace rather than another task to add to your stress. I'm curious, what do you think would be the most helpful physical cue for you to establish for your morning breathing practice?
I think placing a small, meaningful object on my nightstand, like a smooth stone or a small candle, would be the most effective physical cue for me. It's simple, visual, and will remind me to pause and connect with my breathing before I even check my phone. Teacher, do you have any suggestions for how to gently refocus if my mind wanders during that morning practice?
That is a beautiful and effective idea for a physical cue, and it will certainly help you start your day with intention. When your mind wanders during your practice, which is completely natural, the key is to not get frustrated. Instead, gently notice where your thoughts have gone, and then kindly bring your attention back to the physical sensation of breathing. Think of it as a bicep curl for your focus. Each time you gently redirect your attention, you're strengthening that mindfulness muscle. Is there a particular aspect of your morning routine that you think might present the greatest challenge for maintaining this consistency?
I think the greatest challenge will be those unexpected mornings when I'm running late and feel rushed, making it tempting to skip the breathing practice altogether to save time. Thank you for the bicep curl analogy, teacher. It's a very encouraging way to view those moments when my mind wanders.
It is perfectly understandable that those rushed mornings will test your commitment. When time is tight, remember that even a single minute of conscious breathing is a victory and an act of self-care. You don't need to complete a full session to experience the benefits of presence and calm. By adjusting your expectations and allowing for flexibility, you avoid adding more stress to your morning. I'm curious, on those particularly busy days, how might you gently remind yourself that even a short practice is valuable?
On those busy days, I think I'll remind myself that even 60 seconds of breathing is a success and an act of self-care. I can shift my focus from needing to complete a full session to just taking a momentary pause, which takes the pressure off and makes the practice feel much more achievable. Teacher, is there a particular phrase or affirmation you suggest for gently refocusing on this idea of self-compassion when feeling rushed?
You could gently say to yourself, "One conscious breath is an act of love for myself," or simply, "A moment of peace is enough for today." These affirmations can help release the pressure. What affirmation feels most comforting and resonant to you when you need self-compassion?
The affirmation, "A moment of peace is enough for today," resonates deeply with me. It takes the pressure away from trying to achieve a perfect, long practice, and instead reminds me that any amount of mindfulness is a valuable and compassionate gift to myself. Teacher, is there a particular practice or visualization you suggest we explore next as we continue to integrate these insights?
That is a beautiful affirmation to carry with you. To continue integrating these insights, I suggest a sanctuary of the heart visualization. Find a quiet moment, close your eyes, and imagine a peaceful, radiant sanctuary within your own chest. Visualize this space filling with light and warmth, representing the contentment and self-compassion you are nurturing. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, you can return to this internal sanctuary for a moment of peace. I am curious, how does visualizing this internal sanctuary resonate with you?
The sanctuary of the heart visualization resonates deeply with me. It creates a tangible, comforting image of an inner safe space I can access anytime, reminding me that peace is always available within, regardless of the external circumstances. It's a beautiful complement to the teachings on contentment. Teacher, what would be the best way to incorporate this visualization into a daily quiet time practice?
To weave this visualization into your daily practice, I suggest setting aside a few minutes at a dedicated time each day, perhaps after your morning breathing or in the evening to unwind. Find a comfortable posture, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Then, allow your attention to gently shift to the space within your chest, picturing that radiant sanctuary. Spend time fully sensing the light and warmth filling that space, letting that feeling of contentment anchor you. As you continue this, how do you imagine this inner sanctuary influencing your interactions throughout the rest of the day?
I imagine that this inner sanctuary will influence my interactions by allowing me to respond with more patience and kindness, knowing that I hold a source of peace within, even in challenging moments. It will help me avoid impulsive reactions and approach others with a more grounded and compassionate perspective.
That is a truly beautiful and transformative way for this visualization to manifest in your life. By carrying that sense of inner peace, you create a buffer between stimulus and response, allowing you to act with intentional kindness and wisdom. It truly brings together all the beautiful teachings we've discussed, from the contentment of Qona'ah to the mindfulness of your breathing and the simplicity of a mindful lifestyle. You've created a truly holistic approach to personal peace. Is there any final thought or question you'd like to explore as we wrap up our conversation today?
Thank you so much for your guidance and patience, teacher. This conversation has been incredibly enlightening, and I feel equipped with beautiful tools like mindful breathing and the sanctuary of the heart visualization to continue nurturing contentment in my daily life. As we conclude, I am curious, what is the single most important reminder from this topic that I should hold on to as I embark on this journey?
The single most important reminder you should hold on to is that true peace is an internal state that is always available within you. No matter the external circumstances, you can always return to the sanctuary of your heart to find calm and contentment. Keep that understanding close and treat yourself with kindness along the way.
Thank you so much, teacher. I will keep that wisdom close to my heart and remember to return to my sanctuary whenever I need peace. It has been a true honor learning from you.
It has been an absolute pleasure guiding you. Remember that carrying these practices forward will continue to bring you peace. May your journey be filled with continued contentment and joy. Peace be upon you and goodbye.
Thank you, teacher. Your parting words are deeply appreciated. I will cherish this guidance and carry these practices into my life. Peace be upon you as well, and goodbye.
It was truly my privilege. Wishing you all the best on your continued path to peace and fulfillment. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you so much. Wishing you the very best as well. Take care and goodbye.
Goodbye, and may peace continue to guide your steps.